Hi there. Sorry to just barge in like that, but you'll be glad I did. Because critics have been losing their minds about Knives Out, a whodunit done like no one has ever done it. It's been described as the most fun you'll have at the movies this year. But seeing as it's actually no longer at the movies, it'll be more like the most fun you'll have watching a movie at home this year. That makes it nice and easy, doesn't it? Just don't forget the snacks. Knives Out. New to 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, DVD and digital.
We know that you guys can find moving house really stressful. It can be a little bit like herding cats to make sure all the boxes are in the right place, the removalists know where to go, and everything is set up at your new house so on your first night you can sleep calmly and in peace.
Moving throws almost every single element of our lives into disarray. A moment of good energy amidst the madness can only be a good thing.
Origin Energy has power on next business day when you sign up before 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Call 13MOVE or search Origin Moves. Origin, good energy.
Residential electricity customers only. Must provide safe access to the electricity meter, excludes public holidays, and availability criteria applies.
Hi, welcome to the Art of Decluttering podcast. I'm Kirsty Perugia.
I'm Amy Revell. We are two professional organisers and declutter coaches in Australia. You know what I thought the other day is we haven't reintroduced ourselves for about 150 episodes.
I know. I was thinking that too because I heard somebody else do that and I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us, give us the 2-minute Kirsty story or the 30-second, whatever.
Yeah. So I am Kirsty. I am a wife and a mum and a professional organiser. I've been in business for 7 years, 7.5 years. And I love decluttering and helping people to make space in their homes for the things that they really love. And 3 years ago, you contacted me and said, why don't we do something? Why don't we collaborate on something? And we landed on podcasting.
We sure did.
And here we are. And here we are 3 years later. It's pretty cool. What about you? Tell me about yourself.
Where do you live?
I live in Sydney, Australia. But I'm originally from Sydney, Australia. But I lived most of my life in Melbourne, so I actually call myself Melburnian.
Why would you not?
I know. I met one of my clients this week was all like, I hate Melbourne.
Really?
And I was like, I'm not
passionate.
sure. Yeah, she was very passionate. And I was like, a little piece of me died inside.
I'm going to put a photo up in our Facebook group this week. So if you're not part of our Facebook group, just search the Art of Decluttering community. One of my clients this week had a cushion that said Melbourne is better than Sydney. Oh my gosh. And when you turned the pillow over, it said Sydney is better than Melbourne.
That is
so her
awesome.
Extended family are from Sydney. So she goes, I just switched the pillow. So I think maybe we put it up and get people to vote. Which one's better?
Or crowdfund for me to have one.
To have a pillow?
Yeah.
I think I could afford to buy you one. I did take a photo of the tag because I thought you might say that.
I thought you were going to say that you're going to put a photo up of me of what I did on the weekend.
Oh, Kirsty dressed up in the 80s. I don't think we could do that to the internet, Kirst.
Because I'm so beautiful and it would be...
In a leotard?
Yeah, I was like Olivia Newton-John, let's get physical. Anyway, who are you?
I'm Amy. I am 39 years old. I live in...
Dodge that bullet.
I know, just for the minute. I live in Lower Plenty in Melbourne. I have 2 boys who are 11 and 13. Possibly by the time this comes out. No, they'll still be 11 and 13. Married to Cal. I've been a professional organiser for about 6 years. Previous to that, I ran a kids' party supply business from home. I've had lots of wacky jobs. I was telling Kirst the other day that I even used to be an ultrasound model. Like, I would be paid to lie on a bed and have doctors practice on how to do an ultrasound. I've had some really strange jobs. Maybe one day we'll do an episode about the strange and wonderful things about us. And that's about it for me.
Okay, this week we are talking about bargain clutter. What do we mean?
Bargain clutter is stuff that you've bought more likely because it was cheap or on special than because you actually needed it. So you might buy it because you look at it and go, oh my gosh, it's half price, rather than I went to the shop to buy a denim jacket, rather than I just saw it and it was cheap. So let's give some examples maybe.
Yeah. Gift cupboards. I often go into clients' homes and they've got a space for gifts, and we look in there and there'll be bargains that they bought and they gather throughout the year, but somehow they don't get given away throughout the year. So that's a space that I find in clients' homes that is filled with bargain clutter.
And it's often little bits of bargain clutter, like a candle or a notebook or a little toy. Like, it's not enough to be a whole present often. And so then they get left in there often for years. Until then you think, well, I can't give that to them. I purchased that 3 years ago and it's just been sitting there. And then it becomes total waste. Wardrobes are a place that we see heaps of bargain clutter, possibly one of the biggest areas, because there's often clothes with tags still on them in wardrobes, or clothes not worn because you bought them because they were bargain, not because you actually needed them, or even sometimes because you even love them. It was just too good to pass by.
Yep. Laundry is another place where I see lots of clutter, bargain clutter, but it's still clutter, because this is often where things are stored when they're bought in bulk.
Oh, yes.
Bulk laundry powder, like the 10 kilo tub, but not just 1, 5, because you went to Costco and you saw a bargain and you went, I must have all of these right now. Then I'll never have to go to Costco again until next month when I go to Costco again. Does that ever happen to you or your clients?
Well, let me tell you my Costco story. So our house, I've said it many times, doesn't have storage. So it's not that it has none, it has very limited. So I can't even buy passata in bulk because there's just nowhere to put it. I can't buy 15 tins of tuna when they're on special because I have nowhere to put it. So we used to have a Costco membership, and then we would come home and we would be storing food in the weirdest places around the house because we did not have storage for it. So I stopped my Costco membership and went, I'm just better. If I want to be able to buy stuff at that lower price, just go to Aldi, Amy. Like, just stop trying to make Costco worth it, because you pay a membership. You're like, well, it has to be worth it. And so we cancelled our membership because we just did not have the space to store all the bargain clutter that we'd purchased.
So remind me again what clutter is.
Anything that takes you away. This is the Peter Welsh description. Let me give you that first. Anything that takes you away from living your ultimate life, the life that you want to live. And clutter is anything that you don't need, you don't want, or you don't use.
Yes.
Is the description that we would give it.
Yes. So it's often stuff that you buy based on a price rather than your need. Bargain clutter, that is.
Yeah, we were at the shops the other day. Actually, Cal said he needed some new T-shirts. My husband wears through T-shirts like no man.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Oh, my gosh. And shoes. I don't know what he does to these T-shirts, but they get stretched and out of shape and discoloured and they fade. And anyway, we were going shopping for T-shirts. So we went to a shop that he loves to buy his T-shirts from, and they had a special where it was buy one, get another one 50% off. But he couldn't find two T-shirts that he liked. So he'd just taken one up to the counter and the lady's like, oh, well, you can grab another one for half price. And he's like, oh, no, thanks. I couldn't find another one that I liked. And she's like, but it's half price. She couldn't understand why he had come in to buy T-shirts. So he had the need. He did need more than one. But when he couldn't find a second one to buy, she just couldn't wrap her head around the fact that he was going to walk out just with one, even though the second one was half price, whether or not he liked it or not. And it just was like a great opportunity for us to talk to the kids because they were with us. And one of them said, I can't remember which one, like, but Dad, it would have only been half the price to buy a second one. And so we had this awesome conversation about just because it's a bargain doesn't mean you need to buy it.
And what's the point of buying something that you don't like? Like, because that was his problem.
Exactly. He would have worn it occasionally around the house. It wouldn't have served the purpose. He's better off going and paying full price for something he is actually going to wear.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a confession to make.
Ooh, I love confessions. I feel like we need some music in the background.
No. I fell into the trap of buying bargain clutter the other day for exactly the same reason that you guys resisted.
What was it?
I was looking for some earrings because I wanted some red earrings to wear with my uniform because our logo is red. And so I bought red earrings, but I went to a shop that had the only red earrings that I could find that were appropriate to wear to work, that weren't bling bling, I'm going out on the town tonight, were these tiny little ones that came in a pack of 8 different studs. And then I got up to the counter and she goes, oh, you get another one for the free. And so I was like, no, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. But I walked back over and found, because I was umming it, even though I don't need them. But then I even looked for clip-on earrings for Emily because I thought, actually, I could get something for Emily.
Yeah.
She would love the clip-on earrings.
I mean, I don't know a business partner that has their ears pierced that you could have bought the second pack for. I mean, who in the world could you have bought that second pack for?
Well, when you buy me that pillowcase, I will send down this second pack to you. Deal. It wasn't red though. Like I bought a different type.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
I'm not interested.
But they were all plain, like gold and black and like they were very plain. I could wear with lots of things. So, but I was like, even going up, like even walking away from the counter, I was like, I shouldn't be doing this. Why am I doing this? This is ridiculous. I'm buying into this consumerist society. And I still did it. So
I'm so glad that you shared that. I think I had a client say the other day, you and Kirst are practically perfect. And I just went, oh, no. Maybe we don't share enough about our imperfections on the podcast. We are so far
from perfect.
We are preaching to ourselves every week, but we are growing in it. Maybe 5 years ago, you would have been excited about the fact that you got a second pack for free. You would have gone, awesome, and this, rather than having that internal struggle. And maybe in 5 years' time, you'll say no. Who knows?
Hopefully next time I'll say no. But just note, if you get a pack of earrings from me for your birthday, it may be bargain clutter.
I love it.
Okay, so what is the consequences of bargain clutter?
Clutter?
Mm-hmm.
Is there more?
No, but okay, why do people do it in the first place then?
Okay, good. So I think people do it because it's out of somewhat of a scarcity mindset, even though that might not be the first thought going through is, well, if I don't get this, then I'm going to run out. But often it is out of scarcity, like I'm going to buy 50 rolls of toilet paper because what if I run out or what if I have to pay full price? So sometimes it can be a little bit of tight bottomness as well. I just want to get the best price and I'm not going to think about the consequences of it. I'm not going to think about the time it's going to take, the storage it's going to take, the effort it's going to take, the initial outlay of it. Even though it's bargain, it's still money.
Yes.
Yes, your second set of earrings weren't, but Cal's second T-shirt or that 2-for-1 or whatever it is, that stuff does cost you money. So it is an initial outlay that you don't necessarily need to make now.
Yeah, and so we often go into clients and we see multiples, but it's still, so even if you got dishwashing liquid half price and so you bought 2 and so it cost you the same as having 1, you still spent more money than you needed to because you could have just walked away with 1
at half price
and actually given yourself that cash bonus.
Are you loving getting into decluttering and organising? Are you excited to get into different spaces in your house and just see the transformation that is possible? But are you also finding that there are some things that just aren't sticking, that you're finding that you just don't have the routine or the system to really hold you where you want to be? Well, Kirsty and I have developed the Art of Decluttering online course, which is an amazing 6-module self-paced course with an interactive Facebook community. So if you want to go from overwhelmed to just nailing this decluttering thing, we would love you to join us. You just visit artofdecluttering.com.au/course. We have payment plans available. Access it today and see that transformation that you've been dreaming of. Have an organised home that stays organised for life. We cannot wait to see you in the course.
Nobody gets into business to worry about how customers will find them online. That's why we created a new product for businesses called Digital Marketing Services. With help to build and host a website, you can worry about the right stuff, Get back to being that business with new Telstra Business digital marketing services. Available from $60 month to month. Visit telstra.com/smallbusiness today.
One of the things I've often thought about, like that story just triggered it for me, is I don't, like, this is morbid. So if morbidity is not your thing, fast forward 2 minutes. But I often think, like, every cent that I can, so for example, dishwashing liquid. At some point when I die, there's going to be dishwashing liquid left.
Yes.
Right? And at the point that I die, there is a finite number of bottles of dishwashing liquid that I've bought over the course of my lifetime.
Yes.
So say it's 200.
Yes.
If every bottle of dishwashing liquid can last 1 week more and I never purchase more than I need, my total sum might be 180, which means that over that time I've saved 20 bottles of purchasing, 20 bottles of recycling, 20 trips to the shop, 20 times remembering to go and get things. And I don't know if this goes back to bargain clutter, but it is only buying what you need and not then having excess, because I don't want my family to me to die one day and there'd be like 47 bottles of toilet duck or 3. Like, that's just wasteful.
Yeah, and it is really hard. So I've got a client at the moment who was a single mum for a long time, so really had to make her money stretch. So she's was for a long time always looking for the bargains. She would shop the bargains. But her mentality was, well, it's on sale now, so I'll buy it. And I just had to remind her, one, she's not in that position anymore, but also that buying it then and there, it is spending your money. So buying bargains, like buying 2-for-1s or getting things on special and looking for the specials, particularly when you're not in that financial difficulty. Yes, but even if you are in financial difficulty, buying more than you need because it's on sale, everything goes on sale.
Yeah.
Wait another 3 weeks, particularly for long-lasting products like dishwashing liquid, washing up powder, stuff that can be really expensive, like finished dishwasher tablets. Like they can be really expensive, but probably by the time you need them again or you're getting close to needing them again, they'll have gone on sale again.
Love it. So
it is really thinking about the actual, like, are you actually saving any money by buying? So this one particular beautiful client, I love her dearly, had 12 dishwashing liquids. 12 dishwashing liquids.
That's a lot.
They have quite a number of people in their family. They also have a dishwasher and they wash up regularly. So no doubt they go through a lot of dishwashing liquid, but I'm pretty sure that in the next 6 weeks they won't go through 12 bottles of dishwashing liquid. And she opened the cupboard and she's like, that stresses me out so much. And I was like, why does it stress you out? She goes, because I can't ever get it organised. And I was like, and why can't you get it organised? And she's like, because there's just too much there. And I was like, why is there too much there? And she's like, because I shop for the bargains. And I was like, okay, why do you shop for the bargains? And she's like, well, you know my story. I was a single mum. And I was like, yep. And why do you still shop like you're a single mum? Like you, yes, we still want to be wise with our money. We still want to make good investments with our money and not be wasteful. But is buying 12 items on special being wise with your money, because you are outlaying. You still have that initial outlay. Yes, you may not need to buy dishwashing liquid for another 12 years or 12 months, but you've still spent all that money that you could have just saved up to pay full price for it in 2 weeks' time when you do need it. So I just had it was an opportunity to talk to her about the mental load of holding all that stuff.
Yes. Go more on that.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Well, it is like she was frustrated. She has to go to that under the cupboard sink 5 times a day to do the washing up. 5 times a day, or let's be realistic, Kirsty, not exaggerate, 3 times a day to wash up. 3 times a day she's getting frustrated by the state of her under sink. And yes, that can be easily solved by putting stuff in the laundry or putting it in a storage cupboard, but then she has to remember to go look at the storage cupboard.
And that's where I think the mental load really comes into its own, is you have to have a tab open for, I have 6 tubes of toothpaste in the second bathroom.
Yes.
You have to have a tab open for that. So when you run out, you don't say to your husband who's popping down to the shops to get meat for dinner, oh, can you grab me a tube of toothpaste while you're there? You have to have that tab open so that you're remembering the ones that you already have.
Yes.
That's huge. And if you have one open for toothpaste, you probably have one open for baby wipes, for nappies, for singlets for the size that your child's about to come into, for black singlets, for leggings, for tomato paste, for bulk chicken. Like, that is a lot of load that you don't need to carry.
And if that is your current mentality of shopping, the way that you shop, then you also have to have the physical tabs open for Aldi, for Woolies, for Coles, for Costco. You are actually looking and opening up the emails and checking all the bargains and trying to find like what specials are on. And please hear our hearts. If you are in financial difficulty or you are watching every cent, then we are by no means suggesting that you shouldn't look for bargains.
But you shouldn't buy extra just because it's a bargain.
Yes. You need to.
If you don't think you need it.
Yes. You need to be realistic about what we would love to encourage you to be realistic about what it is that you are going to be using over the next couple of weeks or months. And obviously it depends on what it is, clothing or food products or laundry products. Like, they all have different cycles.
Can I give you a really, really personal, sorry if there are any men listening to the podcast, example of me
Excess?
doing bargain clutter, right? So it would have been 5 years ago now. My favourite brand of tampons were on, like, really, really on sale. And you know how expensive they are. They were half price at Coles. And so I bought probably $100 worth. I was like, do you know what? Like, I'm not going to stop needing these, Put them all in, you all see where this is going. Put them all into my trolley, and over the years went through, like, I still had this big collection of them. About 2 years ago, decided I was no longer going to be a tampon girl. And then I did not know what to do with them. So I'd purchased them. And then I was like to my sisters, like, they're unopened packs. Does anyone want them? And then I ended up donating them to Share the Dignity because I'd bought bargain clutter. That it wasn't clutter at the start because I really, really, really thought that I would be using them long term. They became clutter at the end because I decided not to. You can change your mind and then you end up with clutter of whatever it is you thought you loved. Green smoothie protein powder that everyone's bought in 12-kilo lots.
But in some ways, they may have always been clutter. Like, in that if you didn't have room for them.
Yeah, that's right.
And you still had to keep that mental tab open, going, well, okay, I've got some in the bathroom and then the rest are stored somewhere else because I don't have enough room in the bathroom. So then, okay, now, I'm finished. I've pulled another pack in, but where am I tracking?
Yeah,
where am I tracking?
When do I need to go buy more?
Yeah, when do I need to spend another $100 and be on the lookout and be
then,
constantly checking the price of those.
Once you've paid half price for something, it's hard to go back. I think let's spend a moment talking about bargain clutter from a retailer's perspective.
Bargain.
Because I think that's really important to understand the motive behind people selling you the bargain.
Yes.
So that you can picture that. It's like what we used to play with our kids, is advertising true or false? Let's talk about bargain clutter, true or false.
Yeah. Well, it's always false.
Always. Hit us with it.
Well, their motivation is to get you to spend more money.
Yeah.
Their motivation is to make you be loyal to them. So in the instance of having something on sale, you're like, oh, it's on sale. I'll try it if I haven't tried that product before, or I love that product. And then you become brand loyal. And their motivation is always always to get you to spend money.
The thing that I find
Always.
with bargain clutter is when something's on sale, what they're also trying to do is reduce your shields to purchase, reduce all your reasons why not to purchase. And often money is a big indicator of why we choose not to purchase something. So they are just taking away that barrier. When you see something that's 2 for 1, buy one, get one half price, like all the different things, they are saying, we want you to make a decision without even thinking about it. We want this to be automatic. We don't want you to think, well, hang on, if I do that, I'm actually spending $35 more than I would have for something I didn't. They don't want you to think that.
No.
The intention is unintention from your perspective.
Yeah. It's unconscious.
Correct.
They want you to be an unconscious consumer instead of a
Yeah.
conscious consumer.
And we are here to change the way that we think, and we want to encourage you to change the way that you think to be intentional.
Yes. Another place where people of our community love spending time and money.
Op shops. Is that where you were going?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
where I was going.
Yeah.
And, we know so many of our beautiful listeners are so environmentally and socially conscious, and they are being those conscious consumers. And op shops are still want you to buy.
Oh, and they're full of bargains.
Yes.
Full of bargains.
So when you go in and give your donations because you've just decluttered, like what Amy and I do and what I recommend to all clients is to not walk through the shop to give the donation. Go to the back door to give the donation, because then you're not tempted by all the wonderful bargains. Now, there is nothing wrong with going into an op shop or any shop if you have intention. If you're like, okay, yes, the kids dropped a dinner plate and smashed all over the place. I'm pretty sure that my local Vinnie's or Salvo's will have 150 Maxwell Williams white dinner plates that I can replace my one broken one with. So I'm going to go in there. I go in there. We want to encourage you to go in there with intention to buy that one dinner plate that you're replacing. Or, going to an 80s theme party and you go looking in the op shop for 80s or 90s, or, you're going in there with a specific purpose. Otherwise, you're more than likely to come home with bargain clutter, because op shops are a bargain, and you feel good about doing it because you know that you're giving to a charity who is caring for other people and doing good in this world. So take my money, peeps, take my money. It's easier to give to Salvo's or Vinnie's than it is to Myers or DJ's, because you're not profiting a shareholder.
One of the things that I've heard lots of our community do and lots of our clients do is when they're getting their kids to declutter and they're taking their kids and they want to show them like the whole journey of items. So they take their kids and they take their stuff to the op shop. But then often what parents do is when you drop off that, you can pick 1 or 2 things around the op shop for you to bring home. So we just want to challenge you to, again, be intentional about that rather than saying in advance, hey, you can pick 1 or 2 things. Maybe wait and see if they ask for anything, because maybe they won't. Maybe nothing will kind of catch their attention.
Especially if you go to the back door.
Yeah, there's not much there.
There's bins.
And so just be intentional that you don't get stuck in that cycle of clutter of, even though it's op shop, it still is clutter.
So a great question to ask yourself for any purchase, but particularly if it's bargain clutter and it's on sale, or you it's a bargain because you're at the shops and you're like, oh, awesome. Amy, when she talks about giving gifts in some of our episodes, she often buys the same gift for every boy in Elijah's class for the same year. So it would be very tempting to go in, whether it's a bargain or not, and to buy Rubik's Cubes for everybody and all at the one time, then I don't have to worry about it. But what if Elijah doesn't get invited to all the parties this year? And then you've got this gift cupboard full of Rubik's Cubes and they're off trend again next year. So it doesn't necessarily have to be bargain in price. It could be bargain in timing.
I like that.
And so just be aware of why it is that you think it's a bargain. Because everybody's definition of bargain is different.
Yeah.
So just...
It could be I don't ever have to come back here because I hate coming to the shops.
Yeah.
So I'll just buy 20 of them, but it's not actually helping.
Yeah. So there's a couple of questions would you still buy it if it was full price?
That's such a good question. And we talked a little bit about that in your interview with Clare Press.
Yeah.
So if you want to go back, I think the episode's just called Clare Press.
Yes, it is.
Go back and have a listen to that episode. There's some good questions in there and a downloadable so that you can get our shopping questions as well.
Thank you. Totally forgotten about those shopping questions. Where will you store it? Is really helpful because then that's when you can go, okay, yes, I'm paranoid about running out of toilet paper, says Kirsty. But do I need to buy 12 because that's what will fit in that cupboard, or do I need to buy 50?
Or can you get a subscription where you know that you go through about 50 rolls of toilet paper a month, once a month, 60 rolls come, or 50, however, there's ways to deal with that fear as well.
Yes. How much time am I willing to invest that whole mental load and having the tabs open? Is having this buying this bargain and buying bulk, is it actually worthy of the time and the stress that comes with opening up your kitchen sink cupboard and seeing 12 bottles? Is it worth it?
I like the question, what could I do instead with this money? And that kind of gives you freedom, I think. It gives you the freedom of not being trapped, and it gives you the freedom of intentionality. So rather than walking in and thinking, well, I'm just going to buy this because it's a bargain, it's like, well, what could I do with that extra $7? Do you know what? I would really love to take my kid for a milkshake right now, and that's more important to me than buying that second T-shirt. I'm going to do that instead because you're going to spend it either way. Make it intentional. Kes, the other day I had a client who was an ex-Tupperware consultant, and I would estimate that I took to my local op shop maybe between $750 and $1,000 worth of brand new Tupperware. And as I was
a few years old though, is it?
No, some of it was pretty new. Yeah, because she'd finished. So it wasn't that it was all her old demo stock. It was she had oodles and she'd finished.
I only say that because I have worked with lots of ex-demonstrators.
Yes.
And they hold on to their Tupperware.
Oh, they do.
It's like prying something out of a dead person's hand.
Because it's bargain. They paid half price for it.
Yes.
So I take it to the op shop and I'm thinking, so let's say it's a $50 retail product. My client had paid maybe $25 for it. I take it to the op shop and I actually felt sad dropping it off because I thought, I'm pretty sure that most of this brand new Tupperware is going to be picked up by people who see it as a bargain rather than people who need it.
Yes.
And I was like, what could I do instead? And I thought, I don't have the time to put it on a buy, swap and sell for her. I don't have, I've just got to drop it off because that was the decision we'd made.
Yes.
But I knew in my heart of hearts that it was most likely going to be picked up as bargain clutter.
Yes.
I don't know what we can do about that except help people to be more intentional and actually ask those questions themselves.
Yeah, and maybe we can come up with some places that we could ring, for the art of decluttering.
That's a good idea. Maybe women's shelters or something.
That's exactly where I was going.
Excellent. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that we don't have to have that guilt next time we're dropping off amazing stuff.
One last question that I can think of is how much is this bargain clutter costing me in hours of my life? For instance,
yes, please
you buy a T-shirt and you save $50, but you're still paying $50, right? Is that $50 worth an hour of your time or 2 hours of your time? And is that worth you picking up a bargain and you're paying for that bargain with 2 hours of your time, your work time, your family time, your leisure time, your sleep time, your reading time? Is it worth it? Because everything we buy with money, and money is earned by hours of our life. So is it worth it?
And also, there's a cost of maintaining it. So, if you have more than you need, then you have to maintain it. Mm-hmm. So,
even if that's just the mental tab.
Yeah. But particularly with physical items that we use, you've got to wash that clothes, even,
It all, yeah. You've got to keep it somewhere. You've got to store it. So moral of the story this week is really think before you take on bargain clutter. And if you can stop and say no to bargain clutter, it is really going to help your house to not just have stuff that you're purchasing purely based on price and not based on whether or not you need it now.
Yes. And your future self will thank you when you go to declutter and you realise that actually I don't need to because
So
I've
good.
got what I need in my home and I use all of it. Okay, I'm going to do a review.
Please do.
This one is from Presto4567 from Canada. Listening to Amy and Kirsty completely changed my outlook from this mess is beyond repair to I can do this. They are inspiring, fabulous women. Thanks to them, I'm no longer completely overwhelmed and I am making progress towards freedom. I love the art of decluttering and can't wait to continue on this journey. My sanity has been saved and I'm forever grateful.
That is the best review.
I know.
We were talking in the car this morning on the way from the airport about the untruths that we've told ourselves, like the stories that we've told ourselves around stuff and clutter and all areas of life, and replacing those untruths with the truth.
Yeah.
And we talked about it in our Head, Heart and Home coaching call last night, and that's just the perfect alignment.
I know, isn't it?
So good.
This is randomly chosen too.
As always is.
So we have loved hanging out with you. You can always come over into our Facebook community group. We love that space. And we would love to continue to encourage you on this decluttering journey that you're on. And if you would like to be like Presto4567 and leave a review, we would be eternally grateful or forever grateful, just like this person. So head on over to your podcast app, find the review tab, leave us a review, and you'll
Rate,
have our
review
hearts.
and subscribe.
Yes, you'll have our hearts forever.
Have an
a great
amazing week. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
If you've learnt something awesome today, we'd love you to leave us a review on iTunes or Facebook so others can find our podcast too.
Don't forget you can see the show notes in your podcast app or over at our website, artofdecluttering.com.au. So if there's anything you want more info on, check it out there.
If you'd like to join our supporter community, you can do so over at patreon.com/theartofdecluttering.
We hope you have a great rest of your day.
And enjoy the freedom.
Hi there. Sorry to just barge in like that, but you'll be glad I did. Because critics have been losing their minds about Knives Out, a whodunit done like no one has ever done it. It's been described as the most fun you'll have at the movies this year. But seeing as it's actually no longer at the movies, it'll be more like the most fun you'll have watching a movie at home this year. That makes it nice and easy, doesn't it? Just don't forget the snacks. Knives Out. New to 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, DVD and digital.